Thank you, Renee. It's always such a delight to have you back.
Thank you, Ronnie. It's great to be here.
I'm just curious. There are many sopranos in the world, but not many get into all that you get into. How on earth did you stumble upon it? Or what made you wake up one day and decide that music has other effects other than just pure pleasure?
Well, I had issues myself as a performer with pain, which was kind of a somatic symptom and a hedge against performance pressure. And I was trying to understand the mind-body connection and reading a lot about that. And I discovered along the way that scientists were studying music, researching music in the brain. And so when I met Dr. Francis Collins, who was the head of the National Institutes of Health, I said, why is this? And he said, it's because we have a new brain institute at the NIH, and music impacts every known mapped area of the brain. It's an incredibly complex activity to play an instrument. And when you think of all the things that have to happen, whether it's, eye-hand coordination, your hearing, working in time, using rhythm, pitch, all of these things. So I said, well, I think the public would be very interested in this. Can we create a platform at the Kennedy Center for science? And it's been an incredibly successful project and program. And I became passionate about it. And so now when I travel, I offer a presentation to the local presenters, and I say, but you have to supply scientists who live here and work here, and healthcare providers and therapists, and I bring the audience.
Wow. And you say that that's pain, and you mentioned that the pressure of performance. I can imagine that. Never experienced it because I never have to perform and never can perform. But what kind of pain? Is it headache or is it body ache? Or?
So it can be individual. This is not terribly uncommon. And for me, it was pain that actually threatened my performance. So it was these muscles around the base of the neck. And I would think, I can't do it. I can't go on. I'm not going to be able to sing. And then it would magically lift when I came on stage. So I knew it wasn't real. I knew it wasn't something. So it's a thing,
I heard that you spoke about stage fright.
Yes. Oh, that was part of it. Absolutely.
You have that? We thought that it's so natural. You just get up there and sing.
Well, this was a while ago. So this was in late 90s that I was really dealing with this. And no, I love to perform now. I'm thrilled.
You may not be aware of this. The first program that I chaired at the ASHK in 1994 was with Margaret Thatcher. I didn't know that she has stage fright.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
She was so nervous before she went up to speak. She would have a ruler in her text and go down and then go back up and then go down. And then she called her staff and say, check the stage again, make sure da-da-da-da-da. So great people on earth, performers or politicians, they may all be subjected to that. Do you think that music can help someone like Margaret Thatcher?
Well, I will say this is a very common symptom in men because with men it's usually
weaker ones, so we
but it's usually back pain, right? Lots of men have terrible back pain, and there doesn't really ever seem to be a reason for it. But Margaret Thatcher, yes, because listening to music can reduce anxiety by 40%.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been proven. That's one of nothing works in our system without really great rigorous research.
Any kind of music will do.
Whatever works for
you. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, whatever works for you. It is very taste-based.
And you mentioned that only Homo sapiens have that, whereas other forms of...
Same Neanderthal. The same vocal, yes. Same. Wow. So we've been able to sing for a long time.
But why do you think it developed, the vocal cord that is able to make such beautiful voices? But why?
It's weird, isn't it?
Isn't it weird? Huh?
I think the same thing. I was on stage at the Metropolitan Opera, and a dog started howling with me. A very large dog. It was a Borzoi. On stage...
You didn't bring it?
And no, it was part of the production. And I thought it was a stagehand behind me. And I thought, that is so rude. I can't believe that someone is singing with me. And suddenly I saw this person on stage take the dog sheepishly off. And so the curtain closed, and I said to the administrators that came out, I said, it's the dog or me. And they hesitated.
They hesitated. I would have brought, well, I better not say it.
Yeah, it was wild. Somebody wrote a children's book about it.
Very good.
But, in any case, I don't know why it developed. I mean, probably copying bird sounds. Why did birds sing so beautifully?
So they sang before man sing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Now tell me, music must be one of the most beautiful things on earth. I'm eternally grateful to my mother for forcing me to play piano since I was 4. I was never good at it, but nonetheless, it really gave me an appreciation for music. And I say, wow, that's one of the most beautiful things on earth. So how can such a beautiful thing on earth develop through evolution not have some positive effect on our life? Right?
I agree.
So when did mankind begin to study this subject? Do you know?
So, it goes way back. I mean, when you think, Pythagorean ideas about the pitches, and it was thought, thousands of years ago that actually music was healing, and somehow aligned us. And it's only science is much more recent.
Right.
So it started with music therapists who started actually working with veterans after World War I. But really late 19th century, they even began then because veterans had PTSD. They had, trauma.
Trauma.
And so it was really kind of working to tease out those things. And art therapy at Walter Reed in Washington is incredibly helpful for veterans because they can't, when you can't express pain or trauma, it has to come out in some other way for you to heal. But we also, as human beings, we all appreciate beauty. We all appreciate a landscape, for instance. That's universal. So the science is very interesting.
I always have a problem. When people say you have a right brain, left brain, I said, it's still my brain. And so they must somehow interact within a person. We think that somehow one side works, the other side is asleep. And when this side works, this side is asleep. There must be connection.
No, that's not thought anymore. It's rigid now. It's much more blended. And it's more complex, exactly as you said.
Truly, it's amazing. I would be a lot smarter if I had been taking more music lesson when I was a kid. But is it something that is now recognized so commonly that all the public school, for example, will require music classes? They should.
I agree. No, for childhood development, it's incredibly helpful. I mean, when you think about how it develops the brain, but then also how it helps teenagers express themselves, develop a sense of identity, and also positive relationships with their peers. So it absolutely should be in schools. Is it? No. No, it needs to be brought back. It really needs to be funded.
Let me be put you in a little dangerous territory. There are different kinds of music, different genres of music. Each one of us grew up, in different kind. My father, for example, always liked Peking opera. To me, it's crazy. I don't understand that. And he put me in music school, music classes, so I love classical music. Do you think that if I were to be sick and I need to be need music therapy, the form of music that I grew up with will have a better effect on me than something that is foreign to me, new to me?
I'm so glad you asked that. So if God forbid, one has dementia, for instance,
I have it already.
The music that connects us, reconnects us to loved ones, is typically from age 12 to 24.
12 to 24.
Because in that stage...
Hey, students used to have a chance, okay?
In that stage of life, we are making strong social connections away from our parents. And so those are important connections. And that's what you remember late in life. And in fact, it's suggested now that we should all make a series of playlists, because our children might not remember what we grew up with or what we liked. And it could really help to connect us together. Because you never know, we could have a stroke tomorrow. Any number of things can happen to your health. So it's just found that for some reason, music is incredibly powerful.
Wow. So one of these days, people will not remember the Beatles anymore or the Peter, Paul, and Mary anymore. And so we should do something about it.
Yes, write it down. Write it down.
So
Was that your music?
That too. It started with the classical and then the Peter, Paul, and Mary type.
Yes, okay.
The Beatles, yeah. But anyway, can I ask you a personal question? Besides classical music, what kind other genre of music do you enjoy the most?
I think for me personally, I really love jazz. So I love piano jazz. I've sung jazz. But I have a very eclectic taste in music. You know, classical is my work, so it's what I do every day. But I'm also, on this program this weekend, I'm singing Bjork, my song from Lord of the Rings, and I'm singing more popular songs at the end. Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah is my hit song right now.
Wow.
It's what audiences love the most. So I have a very eclectic group of music because I'm presenting also to films put together by National Geographic. They tell the story of our planet, why we should love the planet, and what our current relationship is to the planet is, but all through music.
How far do you think music therapy can go? You think that one day it will become the mainstream, where a certain disease, neurological or otherwise, may automatically be put to some tests that determine if music will be good for you?
Yes, that's already happening in many hospitals because, as I said, it's not expensive, it's not invasive, so it's safe. And it can really make a huge difference for certain things. You know, the research using technology, which is brain imaging, is pretty new. So it will continue to help. I think it will always be a support to medicine.
Right,
it will be in a hospital setting, but extremely supportive of medicine.
You know, like many other things, America is really at the forefront of pushing the envelope, so to speak. And I doubt if in Hong Kong, I wonder if anybody knows in any of the hospitals or any of the university hospitals that there is music therapy as a part of the program. Anyone know in Hong Kong, do they have it? Chinese you? Okay, some nodding over there. But America is always pushing the envelope. How's Europe in this regard? Are they more advanced?
Europe is more advanced, yes.
Than America.
They don't have, we have such a high bar for, you know, the rigor in the research before anybody would pay for it is the problem. But in Europe, if it works, they do it. They add it. France is very embedded in the system. The UK, it's embedded. They have social prescribing in the UK. So doctors will say, hey, actually, I think you're lonely. Here's a prescription to go to a park and to join this group and to... It's a more holistic way of being in medicine.
Not everybody can play a piano or play a violin, but everybody can sing.
Definitely.
Better or for worse?
Yes.
Better or for worse? Is there scientific evidence that listening to music versus singing the music makes a difference?
So these are such great questions. So listening to music is very helpful, as I said, for reducing stress. Even now when you go to the dentist, some doctors are smart and they play very calming music in the background. It helps with pain, right? But actively engaging in music is even better.
So in other words...
Either way, it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So learn to listen first, and once you finish listening, learn to sing. Renee has promised to teach... No. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you will be hearing me sing on stage with her. No,
so the next time I come back, we'll sing together. Okay, a duet.
Well, I don't know whether people will remain...
Puccini. I think Puccini would be good.
Oh, yo. Anyway...
I think he's blushing.
Is America... funding this kind of research? Or is it mostly university-led, hospital-led, or government-led? Or private sector-led like you?
So the research itself, it depends. So it's being funded by certain hospitals who have seen the benefit. Also, the other benefit is that patient satisfaction scores go way up if you have these programs. So smart hospitals are embedding it and doing the research so that it can ultimately be reimbursed by health insurance. That's the goal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
That's the goal. Because it benefits them, it saves them money. It saves a lot of money because people are better able to, so for instance, if you have a picture on the wall in a hospital room, your stay is 2 to 3 days shorter. Something
Really?
that simple.
Wow.
If you have a pacifier in a NICU with infants, premature infants, that plays music when the baby sucks, that baby is also released 8 days or sooner.
Wow.
Because there's an incentive. So these are simple initiatives. They're not hard. They're not universal yet, but they should be.
Well, Barbara, my wife takes care of my 105-year-old mother at the hospital very, very well. And I think that we should consider putting different artwork in her room in the hospital. Maybe she will
Definitely.
recover a little faster. I'm serious. So now let's go to the visual art, not just the music. Does visual art also help? And how does it help in a different way as music, or it helps the same way?
There isn't as much research because music is just older. They've been looking at it for a longer period of time. But visual art is incredibly important. There's a great initiative for veterans in Washington, and the art that they create when they can't speak is so powerful, and it's a very healing modality for them. I love visual art. I'm a poster child for neuroarts. I go to museums everywhere I visit. I walk outside. This is good for our health. Seeing these trees.
Ladies and gentlemen, join Asia Society.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry.
I mean, for me to come here and then see the fabulous art exhibit is very healing for me.
Let me read something from your book. Unlike sight that only captures light reflected from a surface, sound is an energy that passes through matter and is therefore more palpable. All a person had to do was close his eyes to find the healing power of music. Do you agree with that?
Definitely.
Can you add something to it?
Yeah, well, I would just suggest that, I think sight is also very powerful. So is dance, rhythm, everything that kind of brings us out of our daily motion, in awe, creating awe. But I would say the thing about music is you can also create your own playlists and help yourself.
You can create your own playlist, meaning that you can choose from whatever music you want, or you mean that you can create
Exactly.
music.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it starts with listening. So putting on your phone the things that calm you down, that help you, or we use it to work out at the gym.
Yep.
There's cooking music. We use it as a tool.
Have you written music yourself?
I was a budding composer in my teen years. I wrote a lot of music.
Wow.
But I looked around, and at that time, I had never heard of a woman composer, so I just immediately discarded it as a career path. I'm glad I did, because I love what I do, and I'm very privileged.
Do you think that writing music has something to do with the curative effect of music as well? Or is it something that drains you so much that it shortens your life? All the classical composers, most of them don't live that long. But the performers, on the other hand, I found always live very long. I love piano playing, for example.
Yeah.
So Vladimir Horowitz and Arthur Rubinstein, all those guys live very, very long. Toscanini and Van Klemperer.
I think you should write a book. This is good. This is very good.
So you will live long, but the music writers, the composers.
Well, think of also jazz musicians who thought they had to be taking drugs to be successful for a long time. So to be a creative artist is a particular pressure, right? To success. You have to make it. Other people have to like what you're doing. So it can be difficult. But I find now most of the composers I know are very well adjusted and quite happy. And they work hard if they get commissions. Success helps them a lot.
True.
So not being successful, it can have its own stress.
We have a young...
Yes, Elliot is very successful, so, right, you're happy.
Then we have a young composer from Hong Kong here who's writing music for many Hollywood films. So you'll be hearing about him later in life. But by the way, you must know Wynton Marsalis.
Of course.
I just got a note from two people celebrating his birthday 2 days ago.
Oh.
And I bumped in, one I had an appointment with at the Mandarin Oriental in New York City where I stay, and the other one I just bumped into him, and both of them are members and supporters of the ASHK Society. So I'm delighted. So it's very good that we are tapped into all that. But let me read you something else and see if you can make some comments to expand on this. This is also, again, from your book, okay? Making music strengthens our senses, our bodies, our cognition, and our ability to learn. Listening to music activates the reward circuits in our brain. Musicians are able to focus attention better. They outperform non-musicians on memory tasks. They tend to do better in reading, overall intelligence, and academic achievement. You agree with that?
That's certainly true for children.
Children.
Children who have music training do better in all of these areas. Yes, because think of the energy it takes. It takes a lot of focus, time, practice, dedication. It's obvious that these are skills that would be very helpful for academic success. They also develop a part of the brain that enables them to tune out extraneous noise. So that's another benefit.
So does it mean that children, as human beings, we all should start young as far as music is concerned?
Absolutely, as young as possible.
It's better, of course, if you didn't have that background and you are 50, by all means learn and enjoy, right? But if you start with when you're young, the benefit will be so much longer and it may help your development.
Really, because of the brain development. So starting as infants, children at that young age can respond to musical stimulus. So, and it's really just to kind of give them a leg up in all of these areas. It's not so that everybody thinks they should need to be a professional musician. I'm not even sure I would recommend that now, but it's such a hard field. I'm traveling constantly. I enjoy it. I love it, and I'm very lucky. But just as part of a normal childhood development to include some musical training would be wise.
You touch upon something that bothers me. I had Yu Jia Wong here. Who of you were here when Yu Jia Wong played for us at the Miller Theater just a few months ago? Yeah, some of you were here. And afterwards, I had a dialogue with her. And I asked her, I said, many performing artists later in life decide to get out of music for a period of time. Horowitz, the pianist, stopped playing for over a decade. Arthur Rubinstein stopped for a long time and had to relearn his skill. And don't you get burned out? So my concern for Yu Jia, because I have known Yu Jia since she was 10, and my concern is some of these top performers, such as yourself, such as Yu Jia Wong, the pressure of it, the schedule of it, really.
So what did she say? How is she dealing with it?
She said, I remember clearly, that we just have to see. In other words, she left the door open.
Not yet.
She left the door open. She left the door open. I don't know if you remember, Alice, and I don't want to press any further. is a little bit sensitive. But I thought that was a very honest answer on her part.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I haven't left. It's dangerous to leave as a singer because you lose your technique. You have to keep going. But I am now in total control of what I perform, which is a gift. So that's why I'm touring with National Geographic, why I'm doing this presentation, because I'm passionate about the intersection of arts and health. And this is what keeps me engaged with audiences. Otherwise, you go, you play your concert, and you go back to the hotel room. That's not terribly enlivening. But this is exciting, to meet you and try to share some of what I've learned and been inspired by.
Of course, you're meeting the best in Hong Kong. Of course, you're
That's right. That's right. Because they're all members of the Asia Society.
Former trustee speaking. Very good. But I assume that it must be something neurological, that somehow music, art, it stimulates your neurons and somehow get you excited or get you calmed down or whatever, that helps. But to be able to cure pain, that to me...
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's truly amazing.
Yeah. But they're only just understanding pain. And so they were thinking it must just be because it's a distraction from pain. But it's more than that. Something happens in the brain that changes the circuitry that produces pain. So I'm using it. In fact, Francis Collins had a procedure recently, and he did an experiment on himself. And he tried to play a certain kind of music, and it was meh. Then he played another kind of music. Nah, not so great. And then he played full-blown organ music, the largest organ in the world. He said he had no pain.
Wow.
So you have to find that thing that does it. Oh, very nice. Little, yes.
Oh, I love that. That cures me any disease.
You heard it. You heard it.
But right now, sorry to mention this, in America, there's a cutback in NIF.
All the funding,
yeah,
all of the 40% cut.
Right. So how does it affect your work?
It's been terrible. I mean, it's cut. All of the programs I was doing in Washington have been cut, and but it's much worse for cancer research and research that will really change, that's life and death. So I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. It should not be a political issue. It's for everybody.
Well, I happen to chair another thing on philanthropy, and that is really ramped up in recent days with people like Michael Bloomberg, with people like David, the Carlisle gentleman, Rubenstein.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really upping the game in order to fill some of the gaps, but none of us can replace the government in size. So let's hope that things will get better. My last question to you, and then I'll open to the floor, so get ready. And we have a house rule that if the students raise their hand and somebody else raise their hand, student go first, okay? In all your involvement in what you are doing these days, were there some surprises, something that surprised you the most that has to do with the music that you didn't know before?
Oh, yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I tried to share some of it with you. The gentleman who regained speech with aphasia, he had total aphasia with one session. And that's because the speech area of the brain is different than the singing area. And so it seems simple, but most people don't know about it. So they would probably never try it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your chance. Sasha, in front. Sasha, by the way, sings. Ladies and gentlemen, in case Renee doesn't sing, maybe I get Sasha to sing for you. She's very good too. Okay, Sasha, you can sing a duet with Renee some other time.
I'm actually starting a new job on Friday, and I just want a bit of your advice. I'm going to be an official cuddler. I'm going to be going to the orphanages, and I'm going to be cuddling kids or babies who have been abandoned. And I just wanted to ask you, what kind of music should I play for them whilst I'm cuddling them?
Or sing for them.
You should
Sing for them. Oh.
You should sing to them.
Yeah. What kind of music?
Anything that sounds like a lullaby. It's been proven that infants respond to lullabies from any culture.
Right.
They
okay.
recognize it as a lullaby.
Thank you.
Soothing. It's the voice of a human being. It's better if you sing than if
Okay.
you play something.
Okay, I better tell them. I'll give them the heads up first then. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Do that, Sasha. Okay, anyone next? At the back, a student from, is that Chinese U or APA? Introduce
CUHK.
yourself.
Hi, Ms. Fleming. Hi, everyone. I am Jolie. I'm an MPhil first-year student at CUHK. Thank you so
University
much
Hong
for
Kong.
coming and sharing with us. I do research on music and dance, and so I'm really interested to know, how can dance work with music and help benefit health and wellness?
Well, movement disorders above all. So Parkinson's disease, MS, any kind of movement issue, the rhythm of music will bypass the part of the brain that stops the movement. And you saw with Cindy in that film, suddenly she can move. It's really remarkable. And you can also, it's been proven, you could do this just by thinking a song that has rhythm, and suddenly you can move again. But I think dance is way underrated. We should all be dancing more. I grew up in the disco era, and I think, why don't we dance anymore? It was so fun and joyful. So it's great but if you can study it and find other ways that dance is beneficial, I think it would be terrific for everyone.
Thank you.
The lady on my left. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Fleming, for sharing with us this lunchtime. My question, because as a parent of young children, I've heard about this music and education and things like that, but my kids don't want to play the piano. To them, it's torture, and we see other. So, these kids get the same benefits, or is it? Should I be forcing them or not, basically?
No, I think my daughters weren't fantastic about sticking with one instrument, but they did all kinds of artistic things, modern dance and painting. And one daughter learned to play the ukulele and the euphonium. So let them experiment and find what they do like, but do perhaps insist that they do something artistic, and that will help them. So, but it doesn't have to be piano or even classical music.
Although I like classical music the best. Anyone else in front? Alice Mong, our president.
Thank you, Renee. That was wonderful. But I wanted to ask a kind of a personal, professional question. Music, I love Broadway musicals. That's how I learned English, is through musicals. And you have changed. You were in Carousel. My biggest regret was not seeing it when you were on Broadway in 2018. So do you have professionally plans? I mean, you're no longer, well, you're still singing, but are you interested in doing more Broadway projects?
Do you know, I have turned down a couple of things because, it's very intense. I mean, as you can imagine, the rehearsals, the being on 8 shows a week, all of that. So I'm thrilled that I did it once, but I can't say that I love what I'm doing now. I love the project that I have right now. So, but I never say never, and the same is true for opera. I'm mostly touring now, John Adams' Nixon in China, where I'm playing Pat Nixon. And I love this music. It's fantastic. And doing it in Paris again, and doing it with Boston Symphony and, various orchestras. So I'm in a stage of my career where I can sort of do what makes me happy in a way. But I'm glad I have Broadway friends, and I'm doing concerts with my Broadway friends. We just did one in LA that was really fun.
And whatever makes you happy, make all of us happy. And by the way, Pat Nixon, I think, is a graduate of the University of Southern California as well. So it's a little bit of a plug. Okay, who else? Okay.
Hi, Ms. Fleming. Thank you for your talk. I'm a teenage soprano myself, and I was wondering what is one advice you would give to young sopranos like me who want to pursue a career like yours?
So are you studying now?
No, I'm still in high school.
Okay, but are you singing in a choir?
No, I'm singing operatically
Operatically
Yeah.
by yourself?
by myself.
Okay, so you want to get a teacher if you can to start to build on your foundation, your technical foundation, so that when you go to college, first of all, you can get in the best program with the best teacher. It's so important. That's really the foundation, and develop your voice. So, who do you listen to? Who do you like to listen to?
You, Sabine Devielle,
Uh-huh.
Nadine Sierra, and a lot more.
Oh, fantastic! Good. So, do you sing along with the music?
No, I sing along with a piano.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, what's your favorite aria or song?
Currently, I'm working on Qual guardo il cavaliere.
Oh my gosh, very sophisticated.
Thank you.
That's great. Wow. Fantastic. I look forward to hearing you someday.
Thank you.
Wow. Renee, listening to you.
Audition for Aspen. Aspen Music Festival in the summer. It's a really good program for young singers.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. The student at the back. You're from India, right?
Yeah,
Wonderful. 3 months in Hong Kong, Chinese University.
Thank you.
PhD student.
yes. So thank you so much. I had chance to read a few pages of the book, and I think around 55. But the writing was very captivating, and so I just want to know more about where you mentioned about imagining singing, which was like imagining singing was the one part which activated most of the brain part. So yeah, because there are lots
Yes,
of
that's a great question.
Thank you.
I participated in an experiment at the NIH where I was in the MRI machine for 2 hours.
That's right.
And the experiment had me singing, imagining singing, and speaking. And it was comparing what happened in the brain for those 3 activities. And I had to repeat it 13 times, each one of them. So imagining singing was the most powerful, had by far the most activity in my brain. And the scientists were so surprised. They
Why?
assumed that singing would be the
Right.
most powerful. No, not at all. And finally they said, wait a minute, you're a singer. So singing is second nature for you. So maybe that's why. So, but they didn't really know. But yeah, imagining singing was very powerful.
So they should have somebody who is not a professional
Exactly.
singer.
That should have been the next experiment.
Can I volunteer?
We'll send you the protocol. You can do it here.
Okay. Any other? Kamal from he's a founder of the Asia University for Women in Bangladesh, Chittagong. Kamal.
Thank you, Ronnie. So in our university in Bangladesh, we have students from 22 different countries who often appear at our doorstep with no common language with the other students. They come from very different religions, ethnic backgrounds, sometimes from warring communities. What we have found to be extremely effective in bringing this community together are music and dance. And this is actually part of the required first-year curriculum. They come together, they learn each other's music, even if they can't speak English yet. And it's been phenomenal. It's and we particularly, because with the refugee students, we give them opportunities to learn the most aristocratic form of Indian dance. And it has a liberating effect, both for the people who learn the dance, but also others who never thought that these people could learn that type of dancing. So
fantastic.
it's been a phenomenal
I have goosebumps.
experience.
Wow, that's
just
wonderful.
wanted to share that with you, which is, of course, an extension of the stuff that
But if you
do.
think about our history, all of these communal activities are what bonded us. And that's exactly what you're enabling these girls to do. It's so powerful. And as I said, the brain waves actually align. So that is, you fast track them into cooperation. It's great. Bravo.
Baptist University. And then the lady on table 1.
Well, thank you, Ms. Fleming, for sharing this lunch with us. And I'm from Baptist University. I'm a MA student, MA in music. I'm not a soprano myself. I'm a pianist myself. And with me is a soprano friend of mine. And we were kind of wondering if, because we're performers, music performers. And I remember last time I had the big recital at my school for my graduation. I had kind of a stage fright due to, of course, it happens to, I think, most of us as performers. And what I usually try to do is to listen and kind of lock myself in the room and listen to the music that I'm going to perform. And sometimes it calms me, but sometimes if I'm playing fast music, it actually excites me a lot. So I don't know if you have any advice for stage frights or anything related, and that's what we were thinking about while we were listening to your presentation just now.
So I would recommend a couple of things. One is your point of view about performing. If you're seeing the performance situation as being judged, as people holding up the scorecard, 10, 8, 5, then that sets you up for making it much harder. But if you see yourself as sharing the music with the audience, as being a conduit for the music, that will help you a great deal. So if you think of that performing as an act of generosity, of giving, so try to see what your attitude is about it and what is it that's making you afraid. Because people who come to hear you play, whether they're faculty or audience members or family, they want you to succeed. And if you don't succeed, they still love you. So it's try to tease apart your attitude about it. Then part 2 of it is being overly prepared, so that even if you panic, your muscle memory will take over and just let your hands do it. Do you know what I mean? So those are 2 tips, I think, that really helped me.
For piano, muscle memory, I can understand. For singing, is there muscle memory over there?
Absolutely, yeah.
Really,
Same
huh?
thing, exactly.
Very good. Table 1.
Hi, Renee. Thank you for bringing up about women composers. My mother was one of the most famous composers in my country. I'm from Ronnie calls me Miss Azerbaijan. I'm from Azerbaijan. He never can remember my name, right? So, and she composed one of the famous lullabies of our country, and the famous singer sang it, etc. The long story short, she insisted that generation skips, so she never insisted me and my brother learn music professionally. She said, "You are not talented enough to make living out of it." Yes, it was heartbreaking at the beginning, but then we started thinking maybe it did make sense, because she said, if you are not talented enough and just average, it will be a horrible life earning money or making living out of it. What do you think about it?
It's
she
true.
will understand. She is the best.
No, it's it is very competitive. So you want to kind of give yourself an ending point. I think just say, okay, I'll try for 10 years or whatever, and then do something else. And I wanted to add a tag also to this notion about should you make your children practice. My mother had a rule that worked very well for us, which is that you can start anything, whether it's dance or violin or piano, but then you can't quit. Ooh. Now, she didn't make sure that we were practicing for hours a day because she was working herself, but we had to go to the lessons. And so there is something about the commitment that you make, even as a child, that's important to honor it.
Were your parents also musicians?
Yes, they were both music teachers.
Right.
Yeah, so we had no choice.
Do you think that if your parents were not professional musicians, you would succeed as much in life as a singer?
I don't think so, because I don't think I would have been on another track. I wanted to be first lady president.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
It's
that.
still open. I mean,
You're right.
never happened.
And you're very young. And you're very young at that.
So I don't know. I may have done something else. I don't know.
Okay, Mark. Well, the lady there first. That doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
Go
I'd go
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You sure?
Both of you.
Okay, thank you very much. I've seen some, this is terrific. I've seen some came from John Hopkins, I think, about how music contributes to making you feel young, to your brain feel young and so on. I mean, you've had a lot of experience with this. Is that what you found, and does it have to be uplifting music, or can it be different kinds of music that does this as well? What's the tangible
I'm
part
not
of that?
familiar with that study. That sounds. I like it though.
Yeah,
I like it.
did
Yeah,
too.
that makes.
I'm not either. I just know they did it.
I'll tell you what study fascinates me though is Ellen Langer, who's a longtime Harvard professor, did a very famous study where she put a number of men in their 70s in a resort that had been decorated to look 20 years younger earlier, including the films, the books, everything that was in it, and they were not allowed to talk about anything other than from 20 years ago. And within 5 days, their physical biomarkers improved significantly. I mean, so much of who we are is what we think about who we are. So especially if it's music that you loved when you had that dancing or that energy or that time of your life, you're definitely going to feel younger. So I'm going to look for that study.
I'm in my 70s. I like to go there.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I really want to congratulate you for your contribution to society with this. I think it's really amazing and beautiful to see that famous people like you and so talented are devoting time and effort for this. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm an educator myself, and I have been long ago breaking things in the systems, because I really think that there is so much that has been forgotten. No? So bringing back, for example, free play, no, and creativity and art. I had a school in Mexico, and now here I have been here for 10 years, and I worked for an international school with learning disadvantages, children with difficulties in learning, autism, ADHD, and all that is so common now and increasing. So seeing this is elevates my hope that it's breaking into the systems, right? That is so
Definitely.
difficult to break, mainly education. And I wanted to ask you about autism a little bit more. I'm a specialist in autism, and it's really the statistics are growing so fast. And I wanted to see if there is, or what else can you tell me about all this that you are doing regarding specifically autism? Thank you so much.
So autism is very much helped by music therapy and working. In fact, I know music therapists who specialize in autism, and it's whether it's drumming or rhythm or any kind of activity, it's extremely helpful. And it also enables young people who are on the spectrum to feel successful. Some of them are visual artists, and I've seen this everywhere. And I just actually presented in Santa Fe with a man who's built a phenomenal foundation, and he teaches them magic tricks. And you think about the sense of accomplishment if a child practices, which a child on the spectrum is very capable of doing, and has success, and brings people joy by sharing this magic trick. So there are lots of ways of reaching young people with autism, and but the arts are really one of the primary ways of doing it. So that's fantastic. In fact, when I presented in Beijing some years ago, I was most moved by a woman who was working with autistic children, and she said they can't speak, but they can communicate through music. And she said it's the only thing that gives us all joy.
Last question goes to Amelia Lowe
Thank you.
from Harvard University. Amelia?
Thank you very much, Dr. Chen and Ms. Fleming. Very honored to be here. In fact, I rushed back from Las Vegas all the way to see you.
Oh, thank you. That's
So-
I'm very touched.
Thank you. So I'm very honored because I'm a lawyer who loves opera singing. And I'm helping a project which helps with elderly and artificial intelligence. So I wonder what songs you think the elderly would like to listen, and is there a difference between men and female as well? Thank you.
So there's an initiative that was founded by another soprano called Songs by Heart. And she, on her website, has listed, they've done a lot of work with songs, and has listed the most kind of successful songs that work. So it's definitely worth finding, because again, you have to reach people where, I mean, most of the music from my era I probably wouldn't like, but you have to find things that work for each person that you're working with. I'm sure it's different for men and for women, but I'm not an expert in the actual music, but some people have done this work, so you'll definitely be able to find it.
Did I hear you correctly that you say that some of the research shows that music stays in a person even at old age?
Definitely.
Longer than
Yes.
speech.
Because music and memory are very strongly aligned. So if we hear a song and it was at our wedding, it moves us, right? You feel, you remember. So this memory piece is very tied in with music.
Very good.
Yeah.
Next time, I wasn't at your wedding, but anyway, I know Tim very well, your husband, because the first time you came here, he was with you. Next time, bring him along, then you are doubly welcome.
Thank you.
I see many of you have the book by Renée, and she has kindly consented to sign them at the back. So for those of you who, I don't know if you should have any books left, but anyway, if yes, there will be very few. So Renée has kindly agreed to go to the back and sign books for all of you. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, the soprano,
Thank
Renée Fleming.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much.